Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, the Hunter. Welcome back to the Baseball Head 3. Hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. I don't have the intro for the WFAN craziness because I feel that it's not respectful towards Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata now, so we won't be doing that anymore for them because they got out, which is probably the best thing for themselves and for their careers, to get the hell out of talk radio. Because after reading some things, some articles, the way they were treated at the end, disgusting. All for this guy that's been a convicted criminal, and Craig Carton. So hit the subscribe button. And I will say, I'm going to be goofing on Craig Carton like nobody's business. The icon. Couldn't have predicted that better than myself. Couldn't have concocted that kind of a nickname. The icon. Emphasis on the con. And he conned himself back to WFAN, and which starts on January 5th. So we're gonna have a lot of fun here. So if you're watching this channel and this video and me for the first time, hit the subscribe button. Now they're all going on vacation for 2 weeks now, with Christmas and New Year's. So we will have stuff here for you, and really the reaction is quite interesting. I was very surprised by this. And they're two professional guys. I mean, they took this very professionally, and kept their chins up during all this. And they've known this for at least 2 weeks before it got out. But Brandon Tierney did his final show on Friday, and he got emotional. Now, last week he did his final show with Sal Licata, and I would mention I've been goofing on them for the last couple of years because they said a lot of crazy stuff, which I thought was a little unfair, but this exit was unavoidable because I said back in the summer that Carton was going to take over. But to do when it was done was terrible. But nevertheless, this from Awful Announcing. Brandon Tierney tears up during emotional WFN sign-off. I'm not afraid of the end. Quote, unquote. Hey, dude, you're not dying. I'm going to keep fighting, and I'm going to do something really big. Well, yeah. The best thing these guys can do is, folks, is to be on their own. They'll make a hell of a lot more money. And Brandon Tierney, I would mention on the final show that he had Alex Rodriguez. That's one of the biggest names in the media and one of the biggest names in the history of baseball. If you can get that guy on, there's no reason for him to be on a rinky-dink radio station like WFAN when he could do so much stuff online and be independent. At the sign-off of co-host Sal Licata last week, Brandon Tierney had his own emotional farewell to WFAN Friday afternoon. WFAN is set to undergo a massive lineup change in January when the icon, emphasis on the con, Craig Carton returns to the afternoon drive for his third tenure with the station. Now, the first go-around lasted 10 years. The second go-around lasted 3 years. This one will last less time. Comebacks do not last long. Just think of a musician. The comebacks don't usually last that long. And the move, overnight host Chris McMonagle, a.k.a. the Psycho Killer, will join Carton, while current afternoon host, Uneven Evan Roberts, and his husband, and his co-host, Tiki Barber, are moving to middays, leaving Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata without a slot at WFAN. Keep in mind, all these guys all have nicknames prior to today. You watch this video. Last Friday was the final episode of BT and Sal at WFAN, but Tierney continued to host the midday show solo this week, and on Friday, Tierney said goodbye to the station he grew up listening to. Tierney already noted he was starting to get emotional as he entered the final segment of the show. Then Tierney took his last call of his tenure on WFAN from his father. Oh boy. Get the tissues out. That's real stuff right there, man. I'm lucky to still have him. He's the best. And so is my mom, absolutely best, quote unquote, Tierney said after taking a few seconds to gain his composure. I don't want to end it. I don't want it to end, but I'm not afraid of the end. I'm good. I might not sound good now, but I promise you I'm good. And emotional Tierney said, I'm going to go home to an amazing wife and 2 awesome kids and a ton of friends, not to mention my mom, my dad, and my sister who know I'm going to keep fighting. And I'm going to do something really big, but I just wanted to thank you guys. This is something that I had to touch. Well, everybody out there, it has been, quote unquote, Tierney continued as he started to get choked up. It's been my honor. Love you guys. Tierney reached what was considered the pinnacle for so many sports fans who grew up in the late 80s and 90s in New York, a show on WFAN, and he was successful. He was successful with Tiki Barber. He continued that success with Sal Licata. Unfortunately for Tierney and Licata, WFAN needed to make room for Craig Carton. There was no amount of ratings success in the middays that could have led WFAN to extend Tierney and Licata or returning Carton. And in the current media climate, it doesn't make sense for a radio station like WFAN to employ 4 shows in its weekday lineup. This is the same lineup they've had for 40 years. They weren't going to change that. Tierney spent the last 13 years working at 345 Hudson Street in New York, starting with CBS Sports Radio before moving to WFAN. And despite building several successful shows, the last few weeks may have been the most impressive part of his tenure. Continuing to work for a company when you know they're replacing you isn't easy. But to the end, Tierney remained respectful of the situation and continued to deliver a strong product for the station. As for what's next, Tierney and Licata already announced a live show together on January 22nd. During his final show, Tierney also teased finding a way to do a weekly show with Licata in the near future. And after signing off, Tierney announced he will be on his own YouTube channel beginning next Monday. So having your own podcast, having your own YouTube channel is the way to go. You're your own boss. You'll keep the super chats because they turned the super chats off because their show was simulcast on YouTube. They had the cameras up and rolling, and those guys didn't make any money off of their content that they were providing for WFAN. So they may have been getting paid their regular rate. I highly doubt they were getting money for the YouTube channel and all the social media videos that they were posting on all the different social media accounts. Now, I have a future video on what happened behind the scenes and learning stuff over the last few days about what was going on behind the scenes makes that whole radio station look terrible. And even the on-air talent did them dirty too, by the way. Evan Roberts could have gone back with Craig Carton, and somebody's job could have been saved. The biggest disruptor in this whole thing was Evan Roberts, by the way. Because they asked Evan, do you want to go back with Carton? And he said no. Once that happened, Tierney and Sal were done as a show. Just logically thinking this out. Because they could always go back to Evan, say, Evan, you want to go back with Craigie? And he could have said yes. And then what probably they would have done is they probably would have put Tiki back on the midday, and Sal would have been the one out, but instead they're both out. Also keep in mind that there have been massive changes at the radio station over the last month. The night host, Keith McPherson, he's off. He's gone. He quit. Just all of a sudden quit. About a week before this news came out about Carton and coming back definitely. So there's been a lot of massive changes at the radio station. And nobody knows who the overnight guy is going to be because Chris McMahon, the psycho killer, was a late night guy. He was the overnight guy. So they don't have him there. So everything is up in the air. And then they put Sean Marash, a.k.a. the Spud, a.k.a. the glazed donut. He's going to be like the sidekick for Evan and Tiki. It's so strange that he's like the sidekick. You know. And they got Tommy Lugauer, who might be the most sane person right now of all the hosts now, all the hosts that got moved around here. You know. So he might be the most, you know, he might be the most sane person now, because even Evan was the most sane up until the last 2 weeks when he basically declared that he had a marriage to Tiki and started melting down about the New York Mets. But that's besides the point. A lot of Met fans are mad about the Mets. The host is, and I just wanted them to break the team up, and that was it, move on, bring in some other players, some better players. But Tierney's better off on his own. If this guy can get A-Rod to come on his show, get Alex Rodriguez to come on his last show, what the hell are you working for WFAN this whole time? You could have A-Rod on your channel. He would have thousands and thousands of views watching an interview with A-Rod. Silly. Same thing with Sal. You have all these people that you have connections to. Why are you wasting your time working for somebody? That's what's different now from, like, say, 5 years ago. When I started doing my YouTube channel, is that very independent. You can do your own thing. But these guys, they don't understand it. They're all institutionalized at this point. All institutionalized at this point. But you let me know what you think about this video. And of course, I feel bad for these guys. I really do. I goofed on them for 2 years, but I was very concerned when we got the news that Carton had lost his job at Fox Sports. I would say he is a failure on TV. So don't ever forget that he doesn't fail either, And again, I'm going to make a prediction. He will spend less time the third time around than he did the first 2 times. That's my prediction here at the baseball hut. That's for damn sure. And usually I'm right about these things. Something crazy will happen to get him out of here. And then I would mention to Salakad and Brandon Tierney, build up your social media, build up your YouTube channels to a point that WFAN will beg you to come back. And when they start begging you to come back, you tell them to F themselves. That's what I would do. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. And of course, we hope and pray for them that they're able to get through this. It's not easy. And to do this before Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving, by the way. We'll get into that in a future video. Terrible what happened here. But thanks for watching this video. And of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut 3. And I'll see you later.